All right, what's up, internet? What's up, crypto people around the world? This is LP Jam number 9, I believe. Once again, the wonderful, amazing, handsome, and intelligent Ben Chow has given us 50K to LP. Today, that equates to 383 SOL. And our job today is to be educational, informative, intelligent, demure, and mindful. We're going to open a few positions for various LPs that we've researched already. We're going to take some questions from the audience, and then we are going to have an open session and see if we can't find a highly volatile, high volume meme coin that we can LP briefly and print the heck out of some fees. So we do have one major announcement for today's jam, and that is you will no longer receive a profit distribution just for showing up. I know that a lot of people have come to expect that, and I am horribly unapologetic about announcing that, but let me explain why. So, the purpose of these jams are to promote discussion, to promote the Met ecosystem, but most importantly, it's to create a space where people can come learn and engage and become better DLMMers themselves. If you've been coming for the past few weeks, I know for a fact that you have a bag that you can DLM yourself. And most like you'll be far better off by learning to use these tools to generate profit yourself than by just showing up to essentially farm the event. And so what we're now going to do is we're going to implement an earnestness system where those who actively engage during the jam and also after the jam, I'll speak on that in a moment, will get an allocation. And so I know, please don't try to abuse this. There's no like wrong engagement. Really, like if you actively engage, if you hang out during the jam, just use your brain and think. If you have a question, there are no bad questions. Ask a question. If you have something that you disagree with or you strongly agree with, you can raise your hand and we'll let you be a panelist for a few minutes so that you can discuss your thoughts and you can share your opinion as to what we're doing. And then after the jam, what we're going to do is we're going to create a thread for each of these positions in the Met community on Twitter, and that will give you more opportunities to engage after the fact. So don't try and like be sneaky and do like fake engagement with like the GM, but rather like actively try and participate in the discussions that we're doing. Hey, Bill Kusa, this is a great example. If you do want to be a panelist for a short period of time, just raise your hand, but also note in chat what you want to say. Don't be a panelist, just say hi. But if you have like a good thing that you want to add, you're welcome to join for a few minutes. But yeah, so that's the major change. I'm sorry to disappoint anyone who wanted to get a distribution just for showing up, but hopefully in the long run, this will promote more positive discussion. But most importantly, hopefully this will help more and more of you turn into profitable DLMers. And so that's it for me. If anyone else has any announcements, you're welcome to. And then otherwise, we'll get started after some quick introductions from our panelists.
Hey guys, uh just so talk about boot camp and just reminder that the LP Jam and boot camp are not the same thing. But we just had our boot camp over a week ago. Forms closed yesterday on submitting. We've already passed out the trainee roles. We're still processing um, the graduation forms. That's going to give us a few days to get all that done. But we'll start be granting the LP Army private roles soon. So that's awesome. Next boot camp, September 21st and 22nd. If you want to get down on that, more details to come out soon. Time to be announced. But that's that. I got something cool to show today that I've bought with Met money.
Yeah, let's go. I'm excited to see
Yeah,
what little prize you have for yourself.
right. Um,
Geek,
when do y'all want
Mario, and Yusuf, do you guys want to do a quick introduction?
Sure, I can introduce myself. So, Geek Lad, one of the LP Army strong. Been with Met since about January when Jupiter did their launch on the DLMM platform. I was really interested in the one-sided liquidity provision they were doing on the platform, and that's kind of what brought me. And of course, the Met points brought me as well. So I came for the points, stayed for the fees. One thing that I saw that was lacking was really educating people on how to use DLMM. So, I wanted to create the boot camps and I think also these jam sessions which Ben started a little while ago are also a great way to keep everybody informed and educated on how to use DLMM. So, um, been in crypto since about 2017. Started with Ethereum mining and then did a bunch of DeFi stuff on Ethereum and then came over to Solana when transactions on Ethereum cost an arm and a leg. And kind of here on Solana to stay, I think. So glad to be here. Looking forward to this. GMet.
Okay, guys, so I'll just introduce myself now. My name is Yusuf, obviously. 19 years old, been in the crypto ecosystem, Solana primarily, ever since I joined crypto 4 years ago. Yeah, and I've worked with a lot of different nice projects. And currently I work with the Meteora LP Army. And I also work with Photon. So yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'm the only one left. My name is Mario, and I'm a DJ and Goose that just came back from vacation, so I'm ready to jump into some fresh rugs.
Hell yeah. All right. I think that is everyone. I am I'm Fedora Man today. The Enigma. The wonderful. Let's go ahead and get started with the LPs. Mario, do you want to talk about work? Because it seems like we might be on a time crunch to get that LP going.
Yeah, I think so. It's already pumped quite a bit since we took a look at it. It's almost at the top of our range, but I think we still got a good entry. It still has some good volume, so I would since we have 10K to allocate to it, I would cover 40% upside, 40% downside from here. That would kind of cover some of the Fibonacci channels and the ranges where there's a lot of volume. So that's my plan, my strategy for work, 40% upside, 40% downside, and I would do 50-50 bid ask and spot mix of strategies.
Okay, and which pool do you want to use?
It's the 2% 100 bin because it has 60K TVL. The only other alternative is 5% pool, but that one has 10 times less TVL and volume as well. So the 2% is performing pretty well.
All right, so we're doing 5K spot buy, 5K soul underneath.
Yeah.
Let's get it, boys and girls. I'm going to round up to 38. Just keep it simple. Our first LP of the day. Let's freaking do it. Watch this freaking crush it. So work is, if y'all don't know, work is a new utility coin connected to essentially a Web3 version of Upwork. Mario, you just want to do a, actually, we should probably just spot buy. And I was going to ask if you want to do like a DCA or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. Those haven't really performed well in the past, so maybe a spot buy is not that
Just
bad of an idea.
Just get it. Yusuf, we've got a couple of people raising their hands. Can you chat with them in chat and see what they're trying to get done? So boom, 5K allocated. YOLO. Work is actually like a really interesting thing. So like I'm kind of like a full-time Web3 person, and the fact that they're creating more of these decentralized marketplaces where people can essentially support themselves via Web3 jobs and gigs. I think that's awesome. They've already had like bounty programs going on a lot, but it's nice to see that there's more of them emerging and they're getting support. So Mario, can you double check my range? Does it look good to you?
Yeah, let's do two positions so we don't have get that sawtooth pattern on our sole. So let's do one-sided here with our work. Just
Just
put half of it. Yeah, from current
above
price to
half below.
40% upside.
Gotcha.
So yeah, just put 0%. Yeah, that's perfect.
I actually really like the new percentage slider. And you want to do half spot, half bid ask.
Yep.
Awesome.
But the range didn't adjust, or
Yeah,
did
right.
it?
Come on, Meteora. Let's see if we can bully it into doing what we want. Where's my slider? There we go. Remember, y'all, if technology doesn't do what you want, you can always bully it into submission.
Oh yeah.
That's what I do with AI when it's giving me attitude. I use I use Twitter's X or Grok as well as some of the other options. And what I like to do is like I'll kind of like neg the large language model. I'll say like, hey, I bet what is it? I bet Google's Bard could do this. And then like it starts to act in line. So we have 19 soul, and again we're doing 40% underneath, coming down to 0. Yusuf, do you want to explain why you decided to do two positions like this?
Thought that was Mario.
Oh, sorry, Mario.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
because we have more than 69 bins, so we would be creating two positions. And when you create multiple positions from one creation, if you're using bid ask, you will get the sawtooth pattern, and your bid ask won't be a true bid ask. So if you can, it's a nice idea to split it, so you get a better looking curve easily. Also, the slider disappears when you go over 69 bins for some reason.
Gotcha. All right. Our bag has been deployed. Let's go. Heavy, when you return, I do believe technically he owes us 2 shots this time because those indeed are two positions. So we'll let it lie. That's good. All right. That one's good. So we got 10K allocated to work. This should do really, really well. It's showing us 15% approximately on the 24-hour. Hopefully we get lucky and we get a heck ton of variance and volatility in the next day or so. And then obviously it's going to pump to the top of our range and we can close with a sweet profit. Which position do we want to do next? We're looking at BGG1, DCC, and Snoopy.
Hold on, boss. So I just wanted to show everybody what I got real quick. If you could stop sharing the screen so they can see the full camera, because this is worth it. All right, so this is what I bought with Met money. Goose Gang in the house, honk honk, motherfuckers. But I see some deposits there. We're just gonna pour a double shot, right? But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Wear this through the whole jam.
That's so sweet, dude.
Y'all are jealous as heck, but yeah, this is my official Goose Gang hat.
Make sure to give the goose a sip too.
Yeah, Goose.
There you go.
Right on, guys. Shot of scotch or 2 shots for 2 deposits. Hell yeah, let's go.
So chat, take some time and let us know why you think our position was a good idea or why it was a bad idea or how we could improve it and make it into a better LP. And then we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Any of you guys want to do your TA next or?
Say that again.
Just trying to figure out which one we'll do next. I'll go ahead and do BGG because it looks like it's at a good entry spot. I'm going to
Let's do
ask
it.
you guys for some advice on this because I'm not 100% certain, but I think we have some good trades here. So BGG is our second utility token of the day. Connected to Blinks.gg. It's a no-code Blink builder. And so if we look at our long-term chart, you see a nice peak here, like right off the bat up to 7 million. We see some serious FUD here. We got the whole market got flooded out of BGG. And then we see another really, really big move up. And so now we're looking at, I think we're around like 50% right now of our, yeah, we're right at the 50%. So I kind of want to do like a 60-40, 60% underneath. I'll maybe do like a 50-50 here. Kind of like the same thing we just did with work. But yeah, this looks really nice to me. So I'm gonna do my vote is for 60% of our capital allocated above, 40% beneath, and the same kind of like bid-ask spread as Mario just showed with our work position. You guys have any other thoughts?
How far up? How far down?
Yeah, so I want to skew. I don't know if this is gonna go past. Maybe we do like a really tight range. I might go to. I probably put our top here around 7,800.
Make sure you switch to Soul.
Good call.
Got our old range there.
Don't play stupid with me.
Yeah, so I like. Probably gonna put my top here at 58. And then put my bottom down here at 28. That's what I'm thinking. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so 58 looks like that's been, pretty good resistance point in the past. And I like that you're just below that because, if it gets there, it's probably not going to break out much. So I like that. And whoops. Lost your chart there. And then yeah, and then your bottom at 28, you've got kind of some support slash resistance there too. So yeah, I like the range. What's your distance to the top and to the bottom if you put the ruler on it?
Gonna be about 40%, I think. 32.
So 30 up and then 34 down. Okay.
I'll probably do 35 and 35 just to keep it simple. I really like this most recent candle. Like obviously we're seeing sell pressure here, but the fact that we have like this is probably like a 10% move and
Yeah.
it just got the heck bought out of it. We also see good volume here. So let's get it, boys and girls. Does anyone else have any ideas or thoughts that they want to add before we go ahead and open this?
So you're gonna go 50-50, right?
No, I want to go 60-40, 60 on the upside.
Okay.
Yusuf, I saw some body
Yeah,
language.
I'm like, to be honest, it really depends. So I'm not really into BGG1 in terms of what the project and product does, right? So I really think it will depend very much. It will depend very much on that. If the product is good, I think price could go further up. If not, price will likely go further down. Like the only reason for why I'm a bit I'm a bit confused on why you want to go this bullish is because of how much price has gone up over the past few weeks. So perhaps you could explain the reason for why you were this bullish.
Specifically because of price action. So like there's three things that lead me to be bullish. One is I've seen some whales accumulating like really, really big bags along the way. Number two is we see this increase in volume as price is going down. And then also this most recent bar where like obviously there's a lot of buy support here. It may not continue, but that's what leads me to have a bullish hypothesis on this. We can also skew back towards the 50-50 and be slightly more conservative. But to me, like I almost always see a reversal here at the 50%. And either we see a short-term reversal and it pumps up, for the best case scenario is we range trade at this 50 range, and then we top out at a new all-time high. But I like this either as a short-term trade or a long-term. Unless anyone has like a veto vote, I'm just gonna do the 60-40. And then we might close this. We might close this at like a plus 30% and just like lock it in. And to me, that would be awesome.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
So I'm gonna use Mario strategy here and do two different positions. Got one underneath. We'll do half spot, half bid ask. Oh, whoops. I left this little tail down here. That's okay.
Yeah, just take a look at our work position. It already made 3.6% profit.
Heck yeah. Is that from impermanent gain or fees, or obviously a mixture?
Yeah, it is. The fees are actually stacking up pretty well as well. 0.22 sol so far and some work.
What do you want to do with the fee generation? You want to compound that?
Yeah, maybe the work fees. Yeah, sol definitely not. I would save those.
I'm just gonna redo this position. I goofed it. Guys, remember, if you're raising your hand, drop a message in chat so that we can see what it is that you want to say. And if you're just raising your hand to raise your hand, it's kind of silly.
Yeah, I've sent messages to several people that have asked any questions related to any of our ideas, traditions, etc. In the chat. So
Someone asked, will your liquidity make great impact on the coin you're DLMing? No. I'm not
In some
really sure what
instances
that
it can.
means, but
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think-
I think this token has a lot of liquidity, so I don't think it's gonna. He's not gonna get a dump into it because he's got liquidity out there.
I know in the past we've talked about essentially trying to like take over a coin by adding a bunch of liquidity underneath. And I still think that's like a really interesting strategy. But there are like cases where you could essentially dominate the coin's trajectory by adding a bunch of liquidity, whether it be like a market sentiment thing, people see that you added a bunch of liquidity and they become bullish, or also you could essentially just like create such a large buy wall that people are unable to sell past it. But that's also like a really, really aggressive strategy. And that by definition is what market making is. And so like I really think we should try that one week, maybe not this week, but it would be really, really interesting to see if we could create a reversal by adding enough liquidity to a coin at the right price ranges. It's a good question though. Thanks for asking.
right. Yeah, no,
Let's
it is. and you got to put in a whole lot to do that. But we're
Yes.
gonna put in deposit, so it's time to drink some whiskey.
Yeah, let's go. Remember,
Up
guys,
for the goose.
responsible drinking,
Honk, honk.
responsible trading,
Cheers.
responsible juicing.
Ah,
All right, who wants to go next?
Yusuf, you want to go up?
Okay, so some people are asking for Snoopy. They want to see someone do a T. Who wants to do that? That's the question.
Let's just do a good like TA as a group.
What?
We can just do a TA as a group and kind of like analyze the coin and then have a little bit of a healthy discussion and debate.
Yeah, sure. That's a good idea.
So I think we decided to do a 5K allocation on Snoopy. Yeah, so we have 5K to allocate to Snoopy. It might be interesting to try a really tight range on Snoopy, assuming it's going to range trade here for a little while. Um, that's one thing we could try.
Yeah,
Maybe
I,
something
I
like
would
this.
Don't
agree
forget
with
the
that.
switch soul. Sorry. Go ahead, Mario.
Yeah, I wanted to say I agree. I would go maybe 15% downside, 50% upside, keep it tight and set up alerts. If it goes down, you liquidate it, because if it ranges, it could be very good, but it could also dip quite hard. This one is a bit risky, I think.
Is this worth the risk? Let's take a look. So like we do have a large downside potential on this, and it's only going to give us maximum. Maybe we get really lucky and we get 5% fee generation. So this is like,
Well, it depends on the spread of the liquidity in that pool, right? So
you're right.
if there's a lot of liquidity outside of the range, then we'll do a lot better than what's being quoted there. I would go really wide and look at this distribution. Let's just kind of see where the liquidity is sitting right now.
I kind of want to scale this way down because like I'm hesitant to take that much risk for only like I mean, probably if we do have a tight range, maybe we're at like 7 to 10%. But even so, like, I mean, maybe this shows a support range here and it has another leg up. Like I've seen a lot of traction on Twitter about Snoopy, but at the same time, like we could also see this a sell off here and maybe we get like an hour or two of range and then we're down 50%, which would be mega lame. So my vote is to scale this back even further if we range trade, or maybe we do two positions, one in a range trade that we choose to close if it gets out of a range, and then a second kind of like standard bid ask, assuming a sell off.
Sounds like a plan, but maybe I wouldn't go two-sided on this one.
Yeah, for the range trade for sure.
Yeah, if we all think it will dip, but it doesn't really make much sense to go two-sided. Just make a bid ask maybe, 20-25% downside, then flip it around when it dips. That could also be a play.
Oh, so just go one-sided or two?
Yeah, one-sided with Sol, cover a relatively tight range, maybe 0.5 there on fib. Or no, actually trade to. That's the one I would be looking at.
Put our bottom like right here. Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much around there. Then flip it. If it goes down further, then cut the loss, and I think that could be a nice play. How much did we allocate to it? 5K?
Yeah, we have 5K for Snoopy.
Okay, maybe that's not too much. 5K in a bid ask is we wouldn't be losing that much if we go with bid ask.
I agree.
If we go like cover that range, bid ask with 5K, if it exits the bottom, like if it dumps straight away, we would be down maybe 1K on it without any fees. So that's if we really get unlucky. But if it repeats the pattern as it did a few times, we could get lucky and flip our bid ask at the right moment.
Everyone's still alive.
Yeah, we're
Yep.
still alive. Derelict asked if it's okay to DLMM when heavily under the influence. He's talking about drinking, and it's not recommended. But I'm here for the party. I do this for you guys. Yeah, I'm already feeling that.
It's because you took like 4 shots back to back.
Yeah, it's all right, man. You know, it's 10 a.m. where I live, so
Yeah, guys, everyone knows that day drinking is the right thing to do on the weekend after your work is done.
yeah.
In
That's
other
right.
circumstances, it might not be the right thing to do, but
Well,
just the nature of the beast.
you know, like I said before, you know, you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
All right,
right.
so Mario, can you define our position for this? Because I'm not super confident about this one, and I'll kind of delegate to you.
No, I'm not super confident either, but if we're doing it, that's the only way I would do it. Just
Yeah.
bid ask with 20-25% downside, and we can call it a day. It could be a nice play because it still has volume, it still has some, hype around it. So I don't think it's a bad project per se, but
Look at the volume
I
on the
have
hourly
better
though.
feelings about work.
Yeah. Honestly, like I say, if we do this, I would put $500 in this because I'm not confident at all. Obviously, again, like hindsight is 2020, and maybe this is a perfect play, but the volume showing 52,000 on the hourly, which is really, really, really low, and we are essentially at or very close to the all-time high. So I'm
Yeah,
kind
but
of
Meteora pool has 13K in 1 hour, so it's getting decent volume, I think, for what it is. But I agree, the risk might be too big on this one.
yeah. Let's table this, and we can come back to it later. And if we decide later that we want to open a position, we can do so.
Yeah, let's take a look at DCC instead.
Yusuf, do you want to do TA for DCC?
Yep, I can do that. Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay.
Go for it. Am I still screen sharing?
No, you're good.
So yeah, this is my screen now. Mm, right now we're into the main drunk chicken thing. I don't know its full name. But yeah, it seems like it's a drunk chicken. Okay. We're in its main radiant pool right now, and by that I mean the pool that makes the most amount of volume. So we want to make a position on this coin here because it's doing pretty good volume and it's quite low as well, which means that we can generate more fees since there isn't that much liquidity in it compared to bigger market cap coins. So if I wanted to provide liquidity to this coin here, I would probably do a two-sided position. Maybe I'll do a 80-20 or 70-30, where I would allocate the larger amount of liquidity to the downside and the smaller amount of liquidity to the upside. So yeah, I'm gonna put some lines on my screen now. I think a good support area for drunk chicken would be around 8 compared to SOL, right? So that's 817. I think this would be a good low range to have for our position. Maybe we can increase it a bit. Yeah, I think this price might be good, right? Because we can see that there has been some support across this line here. It was a resistance point. It turned into a support area, as we can see. And the reason for why the line is a bit lower than this area here is to possibly, try to utilize some of that volatility that usually gets whenever price hits these support areas here, because we can sometimes experience price going or breaking support just a bit, right? And that means, and that's ultimately good because we'll still have had provided liquidities here compared to if we chose a lower range of this price here. Okay, cool.
I
So
like it,
just
Yusuf.
what?
I like it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we should have a lower range around 8.485. Okay, that's my take. And for an upper range, we can just try to put it here, right? It seems like there's some resistance up here. Okay, wait, I'm gonna on 1 minute to maybe get some more data. Yeah, okay, so it looks like there's some resistance around this line here. Yeah, so I think these two ranges might be good to make a position. Then we'd allocate. It depends on you guys. How, to be honest, like personally, I think we should put 80% to the downside, 20% to the upside. Maybe you guys have other ideas. Maybe someone else in the comment section thinks we should go more aggressive. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I could even see going
Or-
one-sided, soul underneath.
Mhm.
Obviously it could, maybe this does pump to a new level. Like it's showing pretty strong support at this level. A lot of times if it's going to have like a strong retrace, we would have seen it do so by now, but it's holding this range pretty strongly. Geek
Yeah.
and Mario, do you guys have any opinions?
Yeah, I think that seems to be a pretty good range. I like the support and resistance levels. Maybe even bring the top down a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
Like even below that, even below where, yeah, exactly, just a little bit above below that peak there might be good.
Mm.
One thing that I kind of like in positions like this is to hold a percentage or a capital, uh, like not adding it to the LP. And if price dumps 10 or 20%, we can then buy the DCC and add it to our top range. And that gives us a bit more capital in kind of like the sweet spot.
Yeah. Okay, let's make a position then, if you guys agree.
And you're thinking 50% spot, 50% bid ask?
To be honest, okay, so for the downside position, right? I'll probably go like yeah, 80% bid ask, 20% spot. In my opinion, for the upside, we can just go spot.
Okay.
Cool. I want to keep 1500 available so that we can buy DCC if it dumps a bit more and then add it on top. So we can do 5K in our initial position and then 1500 in case we get another good buy opportunity.
Okay, cool. That's a good idea. So do you guys agree to the idea of allocating 80% of our liquidity to the downside and 20% to the upside?
So one thing I would say, Fedora man, on the if you're gonna hold it back to buy it at a lower price, why not just open a position at a lower price and just acquire it via DLMM instead of doing a spot buy?
I do not have a good answer for that.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
mean,
good
that way, you know, if it gets to a price that you like, you're LPing it, you're earning some fees, and you're acquiring it at the same time, right?
Yeah, I think the reason that I do that sometimes is it's simpler, but I think Geek, your strategy is probably better. My only like rebuttal would be that unless you do like a one or two bin step at like an exact price point, you're going to be buying some at a higher price point than you would normally. But
Right.
you also could just add like a one or two bin step at the price where you want to enter into and buy it there.
Right. Okay. Well, we could do it either way. we'll hold it back. And I guess the other thing about it is if you're not watching it, it goes into your range and then comes back out of your range, then you don't end up acquiring it.
Yes, that is also true.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay,
gonna
yeah,
round this up to 40 for simplicity's sake.
yeah. So someone said in the comment section that the 80-20% idea is good, right? So 80% to the downside and 20% to the upside. He thinks that's a reasonable idea, but if you guys think that price will go down, it might probably be a better idea to make a spot buy or a position later. Or what I mean is that we can just make a spot buy later if we think price will go down. We can also make a Meteora position and try to DCA into DGT as price goes
Yusuf,
down.
we need definitive action. Am I buying our 20% here?
Okay, so yeah, okay, so if I can decide on that, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Done.
Yeah, because the way you're setting up your range, you're closer to the top anyway. So I think setting 20% for the top makes sense.
Exactly.
Yusuf,
It might be like what?
can you give me our range numbers, please?
Okay, cool. So for the bottom range, it's 841. That's
Got
mine.
845. Okay. And top range?
Top range, it's 17. 17 exactly. So
Ooh, big boss Yusuf over here getting me in trouble. And can you tell me what you want to do for your soul underneath?
okay, cool. So we had 40 sold in total, right? We
Correct.
spent
And you have 32 to allocate.
yeah, and we spent 8 sold for the position to the upside. So we have 32 sold for the downside position. So what I think we should do is that we should allocate 80%. So that is approximately 25 sold.
Freaking math genius over here. Crushing it. Crushing the multiplication game. You want to do
Yeah.
that as bid ask?
No, I think yeah. So 80% bid ask, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to rebut that and do a little bit more in spot so that we have a bit more liquidity in this mid range. Can we do 70-30?
We can do that, sure.
What does it look like if you put half of the DCC allocation in an even spot? How much soul is that going to give you? So put half of that and then just autofill it.
Gives us 18.
18.3. What do you think of doing that, Yusuf? And then put everything else in a bid ask on both sides.
Mm,
You want more on the bottom side, right, Yusuf?
honestly, yeah. But
Yeah, but that's just the first position. And then how much
yeah.
do we have left over? It was 30,
32.
So
32.
that's 14 sold, yeah. To be okay, so I'd personally rather put more to the bid ask rather
Okay.
than spot. But if you guys think that this is a
No,
good idea,
this is your position, my
Yeah,
man.
yeah. No, that's good. I just wondering what it was going to look like. I was curious.
Any of you guys here?
I'm gonna do 8 and 24. Is that okay, Yusuf?
that's fine.
Wait, I think our numbers got mixed up. So this is good. 8-6 on our bottom.
No. Yeah, you should probably decrease it to 8-4.
8,
Yeah.
and then 170, right?
Yeah, can you try to? Yeah, I don't know why it increases for some reason below range. Could you put 3?
Contrary, so it's open.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, could you instead of writing 4, write 3?
During the holiday, a lot.
No. I was
No,
trying-
it just that no.
we got
Oh, that's
vetoed by
annoying.
code.
Try 8-1 and then use a slider.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Oh, chill out, Meteora. Meteora is bullying me right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Just
Okay.
And then your top looks good. You could use a slider on the top too if you need to. And your bottom moved again, I think.
Is 172 okay, Yusuf?
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, those
Okay.
two reasons are pretty good.
So we're dropping 8 in spot. It gives us 24 for bid ask. So we're going to be at a 25-75 split.
Yeah.
And then bing bong. Very nice, very nice.
Time to drink, lads. That's a
we got to
deposit.
slow down for heavy metal quick health.
Oh yeah, dude. All right.
And Yusuf, you want to do the top
Y'all-
range bid ask, correct?
To be honest, we can just do.
You want to do
Okay,
spot?
yeah. Since it's that low and tight, we can just do bid ask. Actually, that's probably a good idea.
Okay, bid ask it is. Bing bong, we got 3 positions, ladies and gents. All right, let's take a second and just go back to our portfolio and see how things are going so far. And then I think was probably a good time to segue into the Q&A session, see if we have any good debates and discussion going on.
Well, not yet, but someone did ask a question. If you could go over the change in distribution.
What do you mean by that?
It says he caught the tail end about needing to participate for the distribution of profits to be eligible. Need to be
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from here on out, we were going to switch from an attendance distribution to an earnestness reward. And so what that means is we're looking for you all to be actively engaged in chat. And I know some people are just here to be happy and to be enthusiastic, but what we really want to do is we want to turn this into a space that's like focused on teaching people how to DLMM better. And the way that you all can incorporate yourselves or contribute to that is by asking good questions and also by sharing your insight and your ideas in chat. So that's like the first place where you can earn your earnest reward. Secondly, after the event finishes, we're going to open Twitter threads in the Met community on Twitter. And so each of these positions are going to have their own Twitter thread. And so what we want you all to do is to go in there and to engage, but most importantly, debate why our decisions are good or bad or how they could be improved. And so please don't hesitate and say to yourself like, oh, I'm not that good at trading. Oh, I don't know that much about this. That's like the perfect position to be in because you should have more questions in that sense. And so do your best to actively engage in thinking critically about these things that we're doing, and you will earn yourself a reward. That's the best way to describe it.
I was sure they were here to watch me drink and see my badass Buse hat, but
Oh, Heavy, do you want to talk about how we might do a distribution or like a prize for people who have the best use case of profits?
well, that was something Ben, the provider of the monies, talked about. Like someone come up with some badass thing you could buy with jam money, and hell, this is what I did. I think this is a outstanding investment, man.
Fully
I
agree.
think it just Ben was like, "Hey, if you come up with something badass, then we'll give it to you, but you got to show it off and promote Matt." But I don't know, man.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to add one thing that is, as Hayden said, or for Doorman, you guys need to ask questions in order to become part of or to get a reward from the distribution later on this week. And you guys can do that by using the Q&A function. That's a lot easier for us panelists since it's easier for us to see all questions. It's more organized compared to the Zoom chat.
It's not just asking a question, it's engaging and participating and giving us
Yeah.
your thoughts, providing suggestions. that sort of thing, right? Just asking a question isn't going to give you an earnest reward, right? You need to participate.
Yeah, but you guys can ask every question that might arise, and then we'll choose manually whether if those questions deserve a reward later on.
Maybe what we can do is we can have some of the audience members, if they like, come up as a panelist for a short period of time and do a TA on a coin of their choice and allow them the chance to discuss. Maybe we do like a 1K allocation for an audience coin. If you guys are interested in doing that, go ahead and drop some comments in chat. You can drop some CAs down there. And if a couple people want to come up on screen for a little bit, get a bit of their 5 minutes of fame, we can do an audience LP.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. That'd be great.
Kingsley, there's no wrong answer here. So again, like the way that you get better is by creating hypotheses and
Yeah.
kind of coming up with ideas and then letting the market show you if your idea was right or wrong and reevaluating afterwards. So don't worry about being right or wrong. Just do the best you can.
Hey, Fedora man, whatever your name is this time. There's like a whole bucket of questions in the Q&A. I don't know if you guys want to look at those.
Yeah, so chat and audience, go ahead and take some time to look at the market and see if y'all want to do it. We can do a poll. Like go ahead and post some CAs in chat, and then we can do a poll and you all can vote. And then in the meantime, for the next 5 or 10 minutes, let's as panelists, we'll go through these questions and see if we can answer some of them. So the first one, Heavy, you already answered the first one. Is it okay to DLMM under the influence? And the answer is that's your own decision. Probably not. The next question is, what is hard about finding liquidity? Abdul asked that question. This is a better question. How much is a good volume to get some decent fees? The work is having around 5 to 10K volume in 15 minutes. So that is good, but it feels low. So I love to see 100K volume or more on the 5 minutes. That's like the really, really sweet spot for me. But obviously you can make really good fees when there's less volume. Does anyone else want to chip in on that?
Yeah, I mean, if there's not a lot of liquidity, you could do better with lower volume, but yeah, definitely volume is king. You want to find stuff that has high volume. So 5 to 10K, I don't know if you're looking at the radium pool, it's probably not a whole ton. If you're looking at a Meteora pool, then that could be quite good.
Okay, so someone asks, Tane asks, how do I decide the number of bins? When do I keep wide range of bins and when restricted? Okay, so the first part of the question, I got that. How do I decide how many bins I want to allocate my liquidity or distribute my liquidity to? You can do that manually through the UI. So yeah, that's quite simple. And you can also like we've done it manually many times across the past boot camps, across the past LP Jam sessions. So you can just watch those if you do not know how to manually choose how many pins you want to.
But I think a better question, the question really shouldn't be the number of bins. It should be the range, because the number of bins is going to be determined by the bin step and the market that you're in. So a better question to ask is how do you determine the range, not the number of bins. So because the number of bins is really just going to be, it just depends on the market that you're in and the bin step.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to set your levels, your upper range, you want to be at a resistance level, your lower range, you want to be at a support level. And the number of bins is just going to be determined by the pool. So if you would you probably may have noticed when Fedora Man was setting up the positions, he was asking Yusuf, what are the ranges? He wasn't asking how many number of bins. He was asking what's the top, what's the bottom. So the number of bins is just going to be determined by whatever market you're in the bin step.
That's a good point.
Yeah, someone asked as well, Aminu Abdullahi, almost the same name as the one you mentioned before, Hayden. So he asked, is DLMMing trading? And it pretty much is actually. Like to me personally, I would say DLMMing is trading. It's like an enhanced way of trading on chain. There are way more benefits to trading with DLMM pools rather than trading spot just by buying through Jupiter or any other DEX.
Yeah, you could definitely use trading type strategies when you're in the DLMM. Um, the difference is that with trading, once your order is executed, then that's it. You have the token, right? With DLMM, it's a constant flow. So it's you're moving in and out, and so you're acquiring and you're selling. So it's kind of like trading, but not really. But you can definitely treat it like trading, and you could definitely use it as a way to trade. But you have to be active about removing your liquidity, right? So if you want to DCA into a position, you open a bid ask. Once you've acquired as much as you want to acquire, you have to manually close the position, right? Whereas if you were trading, you would have an order placed, and once that order executes, then you acquire it, and then there's nothing else to do. So if you want to use it for DLMMing, if you want to use it for trading, you definitely have to be more active in monitoring the positions so that you can remove your liquidity once, whatever your desired outcome has played out.
Yeah.
But
And also, there are just way more benefits to trading with the element pools compared to buying spot through Jupiter. Simply because the technology is just superior to, like when you provide liquidity into the element pools. For instance, you can say you want to buy a coin, right? Say you want to buy a coin with 1K USD. If you do that through Jupiter, you will likely experience slippage, price impact, and you'll pay a fee for the liquidity providers. That won't happen if you instead provided liquidity into a Meteora pool. You could pretty much just put that 1K USD into one bin, add a specific price that you want to acquire a specific token at, and whenever price goes to that price of the bin that you've allocated your liquidity to, your trade will be executed, right? You'll get a fee on top of it. There'll be no price impact, no slippage, and so on. So you can actually, so you will actually get some tokens, acquire some tokens at your exact desired price.
It's
Yeah, the
also
difference
really
is you need to withdraw that liquidity because the price could then move
Oh,
back
yeah,
up,
that's true. Yeah,
and then you
yeah,
won't have the token.
absolutely.
So that's the
it-
main difference.
it's also a great way to sell coins because you can sell it without causing price impact, which if you have like a big bag like we are in some of these cases, you could cause like a 5 or 10% dump in smaller market caps. So using the DLMMs is a great way to actually exit your position as well. But just as Geek said,
Yeah,
you have to make sure you close it at the right time or else you ride the bus.
right.
uh, so someone asked, they've been in these sessions and they're curious how we choose the tokens, especially the memes, and also why the goose hat. So first, goose hat has to do with the Goose Gang on Meteora. It's a group of advanced LPers. It's invite only. You kind of have to follow the Goose DAO on Twitter. But yeah, it's honoring the Goose Gang. That's what that's about. Now, how you pick a token? Shit, I mean, there's like 100 different ways to go and find whatever it is you're looking for. Everybody's got their own means. Some people are looking on Dex Screener for what's hot, what's hitting, what's trading. In Meteora, there's the DLM opportunity bot that may be using Alex's tools to find, you know, the top pools. I mean, there's 1,000 different ways. Other guys here may have some more specifics that they want to add to that, but there's not a singular answer to that one.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, I don't know, maybe Fedora Man you can talk to a little bit better, but you know, generally speaking, you definitely want to find something that has high volume and not a lot of liquidity, right? Or relative, not a lot of liquidity relative to the total market cap. Like if you look at Sol and you think Sol has a lot of volume, it's a great place to provide liquidity. Well, there's a lot of competition too, right? There's a lot of low fee pools. So you can grab a lot of volume, but you're going to be in lower fee pools. So you have to try to, pick your range accordingly. So I think a lot of times with these memes, yeah, it's a matter of finding one that's got a lot of volume, that's not going to rug, or that you feel confident you're going to earn enough fees and pull out of the market in time to get out before the rug happens. And I know Fedora Man, he likes to look at stuff that has seen a big retrace, but still seeing a lot of volume and has the propensity to reverse. And maybe Fedora Man, you can talk a little bit more about sort of your thoughts on how you
Yeah.
find things.
So Kevin actually just asked a really, really good question in chat, and it's how do you know when to close your position? So like the common rule of thumb when making any trade is that prior to opening the trade, you want to have defined your exit strategy. And so like that, what that does is it allows you to have some kind of like logic or rule base to help you make that decision when you're in the midst of the trade. Because say you're up 20 or 30%, but at the same time you're printing 30, 40, 50% fees on the daily, that enticement of earning more is going to be so attractive that you can sometimes skip out on profits you've earned because you're eager or sometimes greedy into earning more. So like the best advice is, from my opinion, is to prior to opening your trade, both define what your stop loss would be, but also define your take profits. And when you hit that number, take it. Like you, there will always be another trade opportunity, but if you lose your bag or if you lose your profits, then they're gone and you have to wait for the next one. So that's the best answer I have for that. And then as Geek was saying about like one of the trades that I really like is the retrace, because if you have a coin that, let's say that there's like $1 million volume worth over a 24-hour period, and in most cases that's going to be split half and half between buying and selling. But if a coin has just dumped 50% in price or 75% in price, theoretically you still have that same amount of buying power, but now you've just experienced a large number of sellers who have sold their coins. So what you're really looking for when you're trying to find a good trade is you want to find a token that's popular enough that people are going to buy it, but also that the amount of sellers has decreased drastically over a short period of time because now they can't sell again. They've already sold their bags. And so hopefully you're finding a position where there's a lot of people who have been buying and will keep buying, but the number of sellers has decreased really rapidly. And that's usually a good entry.
Yeah. Okay. So someone asked a question about the FIB retracement indicator that we sometimes use when we make positions. Maybe Hayden could explain why he always uses that one indicator or why he like relies on it that much, because it's doing pretty good.
I honestly don't know why it works. So we've talked about this briefly before, and maybe it's because it's a commonly used TA tool. And so other people are looking at these same price points and they're trading based off of it. And we're creating some form of confirmation bias. But it also could be some kind of like magical kind of like aspect of the universe where after a coin has decreased a certain amount of like in value, it becomes that much more interesting or enticing to potential buyers. So it happens to work well in a lot of cases. I think a good idea is to never rely on TA absolutely, because I've had countless trades where I get like a perfect entry at the 0.786 and it just dumps further. So I think for me, that's a good rule of thumb to use in terms of creating notifications to check pricing. or to use as like, this is when I want to start actively monitoring the coin. And then after I see other things that signify that the price is reversing or changing, that's when I then try to take my trade.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another question. If there is more liquidity in the LMM pool than the Radium pool for a token, does it mean that the Meteora pool makes more volume? So essentially no, and there are many examples of that. One of the examples is Sol USDC. There are many pools for the pair Sol USDC, obviously. And if you do a bit of research on those pools, you will actually figure out that the if you go to Meteora, for instance, right? The one bin step 0.01 base fee pool doesn't have that much liquidity. It usually has around 200K, but it makes a bunch of volume, and it makes way more volume than most of the other pools that have way more liquidity in them, although it doesn't have as much liquidity in it. And the answer to that problem, if you want to call it that, is simply because the one bin step 0.01 base fee pool offers a better price, right? So essentially, the pool that will offer the best price possible across all of the pools or against all of the pools will be the pool that will make or that will take the volume. Doesn't necessarily depend on the amount of liquidity in it. There obviously needs to be some liquidity in it for good reasons, but yeah, that's the answer to that question.
Let's go ahead and segue into the chat LP jam. I know a couple people have posted some CAs, so let's go ahead and pull some of those up, and then we can do a poll, and maybe we'll just do like a $500 allocation and let chat kind of explore and experiment their way with the little bag.
Okay. So it looks like someone in the chat, Ishak Shehu, maybe you could invite him up as a panelist because he wants to share his idea on Andy. He has found a token called Andy, and it seems like he has a thesis on it, an idea. Maybe we could listen to what idea he has.
Let's do it. Let's bring him up.
Ishak, go ahead and raise your hand.
Yeah, he's got his hand raised.
Yeah, his hand is already raised.
What's up, Ishak? Talk to us. You want to walk us through your strategy? And then if anyone else also has like a good idea or something they feel really confident, maybe we do like 2 little micro positions and let you guys give it a shot. All right, the floor is yours, Ishak.
Hello, Ishak.
Hello guys, how are you doing?
How's it
So
going?
Great.
I've been here before, and I think I started joining Meteora jam sessions from the 3rd week. So I've actually been following up, just that I didn't really had much opportunity to share some of my opinions. I'm really happy now with the Q&A sessions and an opportunity for you to share a token that you think can actually do well. So this is my thesis. I've actually been looking at Andy. I've dropped the CA in the chat. Sorry, I can't share my screen, but maybe you can look it up from there. It's a dog token. It has actually had its pump from launch all the way to around $1 million market cap. Then the token dumped, and then it was community taken over. So I've been studying it and looking at it from 2 days ago. From yesterday, I opened a position around 270K market cap, expecting a retrace, seeing that the community members are still active and actually very much pushing it. So, and after doing that, the token has actually gone up. It's around 370K market cap right now. But what's actually most interesting to me is that the volume that the token is actually building. And if you look at it in the last 1 hour, it has It has $52,000 in volume. So, and I feel like if we can actually buy a spot bag of small amount and expect some kind of retracement, we can actually print some fees from the token, because I'm expecting it actually to go back up because of the community vibe. And actually, when you see volume coming back into a token, there is more chances that it can actually do well. So talking about ranges, and I feel like we can actually target the bottom in the last few hours. If you look at the hourly chart, it's around 220,000. It ranges there, goes to 300K and comes down. Now it has finally found a way to break 400K region. It's retracing a bit to 360K. So we might expect it to go back to close to 300K. And then I'm expecting it to actually go up again. So this is my thesis, and I've actually opened a position in the token too. So maybe you should look at it
I
from
like
your
it.
end.
So Fedora, I think he was talking about market cap. So let's switch it to USDC or USD
Yeah.
and look at market
Mm.
cap. And then what are those ranges again, Ishak?
Okay. So
You
we
were talking
can, the
about
lower
market
range,
cap, right?
yeah, I'm talking
Okay.
about market cap. So the lower range, I'm looking at, the lowest it can go, it's 220K. It has ranged around, that was the bottom the token has set.
You got to
So
switch to
now
market cap, Fedora man. I'm sorry, Ishak.
okay.
So 220, yeah, okay.
And
We'll have
then
to figure out what price that corresponds to, but
Yeah, I just want to mention one thing, guys, okay? For this specific pair here for Andy. I also have a question for you, Ishak. Okay, so I just checked the main Radium pool, right? I was looking through many transactions over the past 5 minutes, and one
Okay.
thing I'm seeing is many bots, right? They're buying and selling the same amount. So I'm not sure, like, are you aware of whether if the team has like made any TX bots or like volume bots? Because it seems like they are doing that. I can show you. I can actually just share my screen, maybe.
You see, that's the thing with low market cap coins.
Yeah.
The volatility in such kind of coins is actually a lot. So I believe there are bots that are actually using the opportunity. But what's interesting to me is that, when I was looking at the coin yesterday, the volume was, around, maybe it does 10K volume in 1 hour. Now the volume is actually building up. And whenever you see a token building of volume, I've actually looked at the transactions. There are a couple of wallets that are aping one sold, 5 sold at $700. So I actually think that this thing has a chance to,
Yeah, but if you could see my screen here, okay? So I just shared my screen.
Okay.
And I'm in the main Radium pool for Andy Sowell, right? And if you just look at the past transaction for the past 2 minutes, right? We can see that this wallet, for instance, right? It bought around 0.58, sold and sold instantly right after. And there are many examples of this. We can just see A5U, the same pattern, right? And this indicates that they are trying to make volume in order to gauge interest for this specific coin here. To be honest, like many coins use this tactic. It's not necessarily suspicious for a low market cap coin because they simply just want to make interest.
yeah, but I don't know. And Mario, maybe because I know Mario, you look a lot at wash trading as well. If you look at it at the 1 minute chart, it looks relatively organic to me. I don't know, Mario, what do you think? Are you in a 1 minute
I'm
range?
50-50 on this one,
Yeah.
but if I was deciding if I want to LP it or not, I would skip it just because it's pretty low market cap. And when they're my personal point where I don't LP coins is under 600K. because the volatility down there is just insane, and it's really easy to lose out if you're not watching the position 24/7. So it could be good, but it does have some signs of wash trading, and some just gives me weird vibes.
Yeah.
I would I would like to do a three sold position on this. We can do
Me too,
1.5
yeah.
under and 1.5 above. And mainly because I personally, so I think we brought up really good points about the potential wash trading, which is actually really normal in a lot of coins that necessarily
Absolutely.
aren't bad. And it also is like a pretty good price formation. Like it's shown that it has like some support, and we've shown upward price movement. But most importantly, like I want to give Ishak a big shout out for having like the cojones to come on here and like to debate his thesis. And I think we should like at least do like a little three soul mini position. And if I don't think it's going to go to zero, well, it won't go to zero in the next hour or so, most likely. It probably will go to zero eventually. But maybe we get
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
nice
yeah.
little pump from here. And I think it'd be a good just like because yeah, Ishak, you provided a good thesis. You debated your hypothesis and you had good reasoning behind why you thought it would be a good trade. So I think we should just do a three soul position, 1.5 above, 1.5 below, and we just use it as like a little test and see what happens.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready to drink.
Ishak, what do you think about would you skew the position or would you go even 50-50?
No, I won't go 50-50. More like, 70% sol and then 30% spot buy, in case it actually, we all know that, low market cap coins are actually very risky. So taking that into cognizance, that would be much better.
Okay, so you'd be a little more conservative, put bid ask on the bottom and then a spot for 30% at the top.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I agree. So, okay, cool. Hayden,
So
you're changing.
we're gonna do a 0.9 spot buy.
Okay, so
One thing that I want to mention, some of our team members noticed that when we were doing our buys for our other positions earlier, people were trying to essentially like stream snipe us. So in the future, guys, like I mean, fair is fair, like all's fair in love and crypto, but we're just gonna
you
do all
bought
of
two
our
times.
purchases.
You bought
Oh,
two
whoops,
times, Hayden.
my bad.
I think you made two buys.
We're in the
That's all right, we're
future.
doubling the position now.
In the future, we're gonna make all of our trades before we go live. At least all of our purchases. So like if that's your strategy, good job. You maybe earned like 5% on your trade, but we're not gonna do that anymore. So if that's the only reason you're coming or watching this, there's no reason to keep showing up.
Okay, so Hayden, I just have a question. Should we drop the form now for the
Yeah, go
community?
for it.
No, there's no form.
No, we're still doing a form. So it's mainly because like I want to have a feedback request in case
Okay.
people
Yeah.
have like ideas, but also we're trying to get a gauge of like who the audience is, whether or not they're actively using Meteora already, and what kind of scale they're using Meteora for. So that's why we
Exactly.
decided to use a form.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's a form where you guys can provide some useful points that you guys have towards the event, how it's done, if you guys have any improvements or ideas for improvements, etc.
Ishak, can you give me my price ranges in Sol, please?
Okay.
I think maybe we lost Ishak.
Are you still there, Ishak?
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm still here.
Okay.
So for our bottom, I think we can do like 0.16 or approximately.
Okay, just pulling up the chart on my PC.
Okay, take your time.
Okay. Lower range, we can go for 00015.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do two different positions so that we keep them simplified. And Ishak, for something like this, what I usually like to do is half spot and half bid ask. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's okay.
We've got 5-5 or 1-5-5 there.
Okay. The upper range 0.00041.
One moment, let me finish this, please. Oh, whoops. I added some of our Andy in there. Let me see.
That's fine. It's not that much. I wouldn't worry
I
about
don't
it.
think you added anything, Hayden. It was
Yeah, it converted some of your soul to Andy in the one bin and the active bin.
Okay, so I'll just quickly add something in. When you're adding liquidity to something, and if it has 10% dynamic fee, and you're going one-sided, if you add to the current bin as well, your soul will be converted to the token, and you will be charged the 10% fee, as it happened here with Andy. So Fedora Man added one-sided with Sol, but he also covered the current active bin. So the current active bin had a distribution that was maybe 50-50 Sol and token. So some of his Sol was converted to Andy to cover that bin. If the fee is high, maybe try to skip the active bins so you don't pay that fee.
And so you just add to one bin underneath where it's currently at.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right.
But it's
Gotcha.
not an issue with 1-2% pools. But if you're going tight in a pool that has 10% dynamic fee, you can sometimes lose quite a bit when you add like that.
Really good to know.
Yeah, that's a good
If
point.
you're over 68, 69 bins, it's not gonna be a whole lot, but yeah, if you're in a tight range, it could be considerable.
And Ishak, you're wanting to do 4-1 as our top?
What'd you say?
Can you give me the price for our top range, please?
Okay, 0.004.
4-1 or just 4?
Just try to minimize our risk. We don't need to ride it all the way to the top, just to print as much fees as we can.
All right, so once again, I did half spot, half bid ask. And we are good to go.
Good to go, you Shaq. I drink to you, brother. You put
Maybe
in
we
Thanks.
deposit.
That
one
was-
more audience position.
That was 4 deposits, HMC, so you gotta take 4 shots.
I'll give the man a break.
Okay.
Give the man's liver a break.
Well, it's already going down on the level here, but cheers, brother.
Ishak, thank you so much for coming up as a panelist. We'd love to have you write a little thread on Twitter and post that in the Meteora community, and then just keep us updated. And if this goes to the top end of our range, we'll go ahead and close it. Honestly, it looks really good right now. Maybe we get a nice little pump and we can close it in profit.
Good call, man.
Looking good.
All right, Ishak, I'm going to take you down as a panelist, and we're going to bring someone else up and maybe do one more community position. Thanks again, and be sure to contact one of the guys and give them your address.
Yeah. Yeah, for this exact part here, Ishak, if you could make a Q&A post with your wallet address, that'd be perfect from your current account.
Hold on, guys. I don't think he heard anything you said.
Sorry, you were talking to me?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm talking to you specifically. Okay, you can just make a Q&A question and enter your wallet address there.
I think we have an Abdullah that wants to come up. You want to raise your hand again? Maybe not. Maybe not. All right, let's go back through our portfolio again. If anyone else has another coin that they'd like to do a little test experiment with, you're welcome to raise your hand. And then otherwise, we'll take a few more questions and we'll probably wrap it up for today. So
Yeah, someone someone asked a question. When I join a liquidity pool and afterwards all the liquidity gets withdrawn, have I been robbed, or do I still get a chance to withdraw all my liquidity as well? So when you provide liquidity, you are providing liquidity into a pool that consists of two tokens, right? It's a pair of tokens. Say it's Sol USDC. If price goes out of range, you will end up with either Sol or USDC. It could also be a meme coin. If it's Sol paired with a meme coin, then if price goes out of range, you'll end up with either Sol or the meme coins. Depends on what side price goes out of range to. But you will always be able to withdraw the amount of liquidity you have left. You're muted, Hayden, if you're trying to say something.
I was looking at Deck Screener and I want to show you guys this chart. It's a really good example of essentially like, I wouldn't necessarily call this a rug per se because I doubt that they're going to pull liquidity. But so this is Bubble Maps. If you haven't used it before, it's a really great tool that allows you to see the token distribution. And so what we're seeing here is that there are users that have bought large amounts and then they're splitting it off into different wallets so that they can make it look like the distribution is more egalitarian or equal. And so this is for a coin Conky. From like a normal perspective, you could look at it and you could say to yourself, hey, Drew, drop a CA in chat if you want to come up as a panelist. You could say to yourself, you could make the argument that this is a good coin. It's doing $125,000 volume on the 5 minute. Did 1.6 million on 1 hour. And there's lots of buys coming in. But then we also have to acknowledge that there are people with, let's go back to the bubble maps. This person has 3%. This person has 6%. This person has 5%. And these also could be the same person holding multiple wallets. That's called bundling, where people group a bunch of wallets together and they use them to create distributed transactions or purchases, once again, to fool people into buying. So this could be a coin that you could LP profitably, but at the same time, you have to be really, really careful because it could dump like 70 or 80% in just a few minutes if these holders decide to sell off their bags really, really quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now I also want, like, now that we actually touched into bubble maps, etc., I'll also add that Photon actually has an integrated, they made a partnership with bubble maps. So you can actually look up every token that you find on every screener that goes with Deck Screener, Bird Eye, also Photon. But with Photon, you can actually view the bubble maps for that specific token on its token page, which is quite useful to if you don't want to navigate through many tabs.
I also really like Photon because it shows when insiders are buying and selling. That's something I like to pay attention to.
Yeah, that's a really great feature.
You can see the bubble maps down next to transactions. Yeah, there. Yeah.
Sometimes their bubble map shows up differently than on their regular website. I've noticed. Yeah, because this one's not showing all of the wallets.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
Yeah, maybe.
It's still nice to have it there though.
Mm.
So yeah, we're gonna do one more call. Are there any audience members who want to do an LP for their group?
Looks like Drew has his hand up.
I
Yeah.
don't know where my Zoom went. There we go. All right, Drew, I just promoted you to a panelist. You should be able to join. Maybe.
You're muted.
Talk to us, Drew. The floor is yours.
You're on
Maybe.
mute if you're talking.
Maybe Drew doesn't want to give us any of his sweet alpha. He's going to keep it all to himself.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, there's a question in the Q&A section. Someone asked, I see many coins that have bots that buy and sell a very small amount of tokens in like against USD. It's like they sell 0.01 USD worth of tokens consistently.
Yeah.
And
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you, Drew.
yeah.
All right, Drew, what do you want to do?
Oh, okay, real quick. All right. Oh, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, just real quick, I was actually looking at this token. Is a new one. Look, let me put the CA in the chat real quick right now. Um, CA for look. CA for look. So you got it right?
Yeah, we got it. Yeah. It's in the chat.
Okay. So basically, it's just a new token. I think it was created, was like yesterday or the day before. Looking at it basically as a gem play, right? Yeah, I'm looking at it basically as a gem play. If you check it out right now, you're going to see it's maintaining. It's maintaining a specific range. Okay, it's maintaining a range, even though, yeah, it's actually maintaining a range. Okay, although since it's actually a new token, we could say it's likely to drop down. But the thesis behind this, is that the guy is actually pushing it up on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's pushing it out on Twitter. So basically trying to get this token over 1 million market cap right now. So when you check the market cap, right now, it's just around 400. Though earlier today it went as low as around 100 or 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So within this tight range, I was actually looking at it being a the gem play for maybe like an hour or two or thereabout. I'm looking at the possibility of it dropping down to the 0.002 level and also picking right back up again. Okay, if you can actually see, that's the structure it's maintaining for the at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically looking at that, if I was to go into this, I'll be looking at doing an 80-20%. That's 80% sold, 80% sold, but I would rather want to aping around 0.003. Yeah.
Yeah, I just checked the bubble maps for this, and they don't really look too good. Also, one thing that I don't like is I just checked a few top holders, and they all bought in after the big dumps. So a few people hold a lot of supply, and they could be looking at an exit when it bumps like 20, 30, 50% from here. So I think this is a bit too risky play, to be honest, because of the low volume.
Okay.
So, I also have my opinion on it. I do agree on
Whose
the.
screen are we looking at now? I'm sorry to.
This is
looking
my
at
screen. I'm looking at the top holders.
Can you open the bubble maps as well, just to show people?
Yeah. So we see a little bit of transfer activity. Not horrible, but also not great.
We definitely have a lot of big holders.
Yeah. Does anyone have a tool that you can use to see when these holders bought, and so we can like look at the early buyers or the early snipers and see what they're doing?
Yeah, you can. Okay, so usually you'll do that by analyzing the top holders, see when they bought. You can do that with different, like through different screeners. You can also do that with Photon. If you go into the Photon pool for this exact token, I'll be able to show you. So try and go to the top order holders.
The holders position. Will
Yeah,
it show when they bought?
yeah, you can filter for their wallets. If you do you see that filter button?
This one here?
No, that's the radium pool. That one can't. Yeah, the next one. Yeah.
This one?
No,
It's not
no.
letting me. I
No,
think
the
it's
top holder, not the radium pool. The one right
Yeah.
below that one.
Yusuf, can you just share your screen and you do this?
Yeah. Hello.
Thank you.
No
You can
problem.
also find filter by wallet on Dex tools. Like
Absolutely. Yeah, you can put. Yeah, also Bird Eye, I believe. Bird Eye also
Yeah.
has. So as you can see here, I'm under the holders tab, and if I filter for this specific wallet here, it currently holds 3.55% of the whole supply, right?
And then
Okay.
it'll show you when they bought.
What?
It'll show you when they purchased their coins.
Yeah,
Yeah, to
because
show you all their trades.
Nice.
right now I filtered for the top for this wallet here, right? 9NZ. And I can see all these transactions within this specific Radium pool or within the main Radium pool, right? So I can see that they bought a bunch of SOL, right? Totaling around 5K, I'd say, or 6K.
Does it show
USD.
you on the chart, Yusuf?
It does actually.
Oh, nice. No, they
You can-
bought the
you can-
top.
you can find-
Not the
Yeah, they
exact
bought.
top, but
Yeah, they bought the top, right? So they are definitely up by like 2x now, I believe, or something like that.
Does it show you their average price anywhere?
I don't think no. There's no like but you can see that they bought around here, right? That's like
Yeah.
half of what current price is. So
hey, Drew,
Hey.
I think we're gonna pass on this LP, but I'd love to have you talk to us about what you would do in this position a little bit more and just walk the audience through what your thoughts are and how you think you could LP this well.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, as I said earlier, I was looking at doing an 80-20%. That's looking at it, a possibility of it dropping to around the 0.002 level. Yeah.
And you're talking about SOL price or USD price?
Yeah, USD price, please. USD price. Yeah. So basically, I'll just feel it, if it drops, it's likely to drop this level and then pick back up again to the range high. Okay. So expecting a break up, a move up from around here. But if that doesn't work out, okay, then I'm looking at it coming down to the 0.002 level and then going back up again, because it has actually held this level for a very long time right now. This actually unexpected. I wasn't expecting it to hold this level for the so long. Okay. I was thinking it would have actually dumped by now. And for it not to have actually dumped, I had a whole lot of guys talking about how, okay, we should actually try and push it up all the way to 1 million. So basically, just trying to pledge the range instead. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I
Yeah.
just have Drew. In terms of what you said about this guy running the coin, right? He wants to pump it to 1 million. Like maybe we could go to Twitter and actually see his account, see what he's doing, see whether if the token actually has many impressions. Because if it does, the more impressions and attention it has, the better of a token it usually is. Because for most tokens, right? Hype is equal to pump and yeah. So maybe we should do that, Drew. What do you think about that? Going into X and watching the
Yeah, yeah, I think that's good. That's good. If you just check the account, I think the main guy pushing it is this guy Shadow.
yeah.
No.
And
Yeah, underscore Shadow 36. I think he's the main guy pushing it.
wait,
Yeah,
can you tell me his full handle on Twitter?
yeah. Underscore. Let me type it. Underscore Shadow 36. Yeah.
Are we sharing an X screen right now?
Yeah, I'm wait, yeah, but I wanted to see whether if he was pushing the coin on
Yeah,
X.
he put it into the chat.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just wanted to add
Underscore.
one more thing. When I'm picking a coin that I want to LP, I don't really care who's pushing it or what's happening. I only care about volume, volatility, and the liquidity. Everything else is pretty much a gamble, and you want your DLMMs to be to include the least luck as they can. Just keep it to strat.
Totally, Mario. I think that's also a very good like general strategy to have towards providing liquidity. But I just want to mention that making research on tokens that you provide liquidity to, actually wanting to hold the token that you provide liquidity to, right? That's actually a very good idea. And so like I can tell you guys, last week we provided liquidity to BB, right? And that was a very hyped token on Twitter. And that made and that position there made a lot of much of our gains for last week's LP Jam session. And that was primarily because we actually wanted to hold that token. It had a strong community. The chart was also doing good. It was doing consistent volume and so on. So and this especially goes with low market cap coins, right? If it's a low market cap coin, it's usually a good practice to do some research on the Twitter, find out whether if you actually would be happy holding the coin in case it dumps a lot, right? And they go through your range. But Drew, could you tell me what his handle was again?
Yeah, yeah. I tapped it in chat. Underscore Shadow 36, right?
Okay, so he's called Shadow 36.
Yeah, underscore Shadow 36. I think. Yeah. Let me confirm. Let me check that again.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Okay, cool. Let's see what he's doing. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's see his tweets. So he made a tweet 30 minutes ago, where he showed look, and honestly, that's not bad. That's pretty good. 1K impressions, 53 likes, 26 comments. Yeah, so we have many holders commenting.
Yusuf, you think we should LP it now?
To be honest, I mean, this is bullish, right? Seeing 1K impressions in this coin, that's actually pretty bullish. But it just depends on this guy who he is. I don't know him, right? He could just be a scammer. There are many influencers that scam. Yeah, I don't know this guy, so I don't know if we should trust him. But I think we could actually make a position, a very small position on it, just for the sake of an experiment.
I'm going to vote for respectfully not LPing this simply because I'm the one who has to manage all these positions after the chat ends. But I do think that Drew did probably a good call. I think Mario brought up some really good points about double checking the bubble maps and at the same time not checking the bubble maps. That's like a super meta position that as you get more advanced, you realize that there's almost always opportunities to profit regardless if something is a rug or not. But simply for my own sanity's and mental health sake, I think I'd like to vote for not LPing this, but we should pay attention to it and we should watch because maybe Drew actually gave us a really good call here. And a few hours from now, we'll be looking back and be like, dang, Drew was spot on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely think it's actually pretty. It's a fairly solid coin. I think the only minus for me personally is the fact that I don't know if this guy, he could be like a long-term scammer, right? But just looking at the impressions, it's definitely not a bad coin to provide liquidity to. But we can see that it actually has attention on Twitter. Anyways, yeah, let's look at some other coins. Maybe someone else in the Zoom chat has.
Guys,
I
I'm gonna step away and use the restroom real quick. I'll be back in 5 or 10.
Sure.
All right.
Okay, so can anyone tell me if there's anyone else in the Zoom chat who has recommended any tokens we should look at?
Why don't you go ahead and close out your screen share there?
Uh,
I think we'll take a look at some of the questions.
Yeah, there's a bunch of questions.
yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
So how would I know which pair to LP in that would yield higher fees? I mean, so I think you definitely benefit from watching some of the old LP jams, rewatching this one on the recording. But basically, you want to look for high volume coins. You want to, make sure that there's not a lot of wash trading taking place. You want to make sure the bubble maps look good. You want to make sure the rug check looks good. You want a good spread of holders. You don't want a lot of concentration with a small number of holders. I mean, there always is, but the more spread out, the better it is. So, a good place to start is look at the top trending tokens on Deck Screener. I would start there and work down the list and check them off one by one, right? Say, nope, no good, no good, no good. Most of them are going to be no good. Just because there's a lot of risk, a lot of wash trading, low market caps, so on and so forth. So, but it's something that takes time, and I would recommend, definitely attending future LP jams and really paying attention to what we do. You'll get a better feel for it over time.
Yeah. Okay, so someone asked, did you have anything to add, Kiklat?
What's that?
Did you have anything to add?
No. I think I was just gonna looking through the list of questions here.
Okay, yeah, because someone asked Meteora and Moonshot pooling. What are the advantages of it? So the advantage of choosing to create a Meteora pool once your Moonshot token bonds is that you will essentially be sharing all the fees created from the Meteora pool along with top 50 holders, creator, which could be you if you're making a meme coin. And a small percentage of the fees will go to Deck Screener, the creators of Moonshot. So those are the advantages to creating a Meteora pool with Moonshot. And the reason for why it's an advantage is the fact that when you create a pool through Radium, all the fees will be locked away, right? So you won't be able to. So essentially, a lot of money will be gone forever, which isn't that good.
So someone else asked, I understand the concept of DLMM, but what do you mean by bin, and how does liquidity affect your choice of trade? So when you put liquidity into the DLMMs, your liquidity is spread across these bins, and those bins have a discrete price and a discrete amount of liquidity within them. So whenever people are swapping through the pool, they're swapping through the liquidity in each of those bins. And if there's enough liquidity in one bin to handle a swap, if it's a small swap size relative to the size of the bin, the price won't change. Everything will happen within that same bin. And if you have a larger swap, that swap could have to move across multiple bins in order to fulfill the swap. So hopefully that answers the question about bins.
Yeah. Someone else asked, I saw you guys doing some technical analysis on some pairs, and that's true. We did so. and then he asked, what do you look out for when making these analysis? So personally, when I provide liquidity for pairs, I simply just look at basic support and resistance areas. That's like my TA, right? And then I also look at volume metrics and other metrics such as the holders, etc. Right? And aside of that, I also make sure that the token provide liquidity is safe. And by safe, I mean the creators won't just rock. There won't be like a holder holding 50% of the supply ready to dump it, right? Etc.
Yeah, basically, fundamentally, the most important thing to look at in technical analysis is your support levels, right? Support and resistance, because that's where you're going to set up your ranges for your liquidity. Because for a support level, that's where you're expecting, the token to bottom out and then retrace. For a resistance level, you're not expecting that the price is going to go above that. So you want to set your liquidity with good support and resistance levels. That's the most fundamental technical analysis you need to do,
Absolutely.
and you need to learn.
Yeah.
Somebody was actually asking to do some TA on Sol. I don't know, Fedora man, where are we with time?
We're about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think unless there's any really pressing questions, I say we probably wrap it up around right now.
Okay. I think there's a last question we can answer. Just a quick one, okay?
Yeah.
Someone asked any minimum requirement needed to open a personal pool. So
Yeah, that's a
actually,
great question.
yeah, it's a great question, absolutely. So for whenever you open a position, right, and one position consists of from 1 to 69 bins. Whenever you open one position, you'll need to pay a fee that you'll be able to get back whenever you close your position. That fee is around 0.06 SOL. So yeah, to open a position, right, you'll need to spend at least 0.0, or you'll need to have at least 0.06 SOL. To open a pool, there will be more fees that you need to cover. There is a crate pool fee, like 0.03 SOL. And the thing is, when you're making whole new, like completely new pool, you also need to pay for the bin.
Liquidity bin.
What?
The liquidity bins.
Yeah, the liquidity bins, and those can be very expensive as well.
It's usually around like 0.2 SOL to open a pool and to pay for the new bins. And that's always gonna 0.3?
0.03.
Yeah, so if you're going to be opening your own pool, you should have at least 5 SOL to allocate, because you also want it to be above $500 total value lock, so it routes properly through Jupiter, or so Jupiter properly picks the pool up.
Exactly, yeah.
And that fee you pay for those bin arrays is non-refundable, so you're not going to get that back.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Let's quickly go through our existing positions, and then we'll wrap it up for today. So I'm gonna grab this screen again, and we'll check our portfolio, and then we'll just look at price and how that's going. So altogether, we have 3 main positions, plus we have this one little mini one in Andy. Let's take a look at work. I've already claimed our first group of fees. It's pretty nice. We did $127 so far. It's now in the lower section of our range, but that's totally okay. We see it's kind of like taking a little bit of a dive from our most recent top, and hopefully we see this go down a little bit. The bottom end of our range is 0.01. Yeah, so we've got a lot of room to play with here. We want it to stay above this, and then ideally peak out on the top. But really nice fee generation so far. We're probably averaging around 20% daily. BGG is also doing some similar activity. Once again, we're in the lower section of our range, but just by a little bit, doing about 11% on our daily. And we see here the magical 50% is seemingly doing its job. And hopefully we see a retrace upward from here. And then our last main position is on DCC. DCC actually pumped right after we entered. Nice, we got a 15%.
That's beautiful.
And it's now gone down a little bit more. Well, actually in the last, we have a nice little sell-off here, but that's okay. Hopefully, let's see what our ranges are again. So 0.0830. So here, once again, we have a lot of room to play with. Hopefully we see a little bit of sell-off, really working through our capital well, and then ideally we see another pump, and we get some nice speed generation with this one.
Yeah.
And Andy, we got to look at Andy. Still range trading well within our range. Hopefully we see a bit more range trading here, and then we can close this guy off the top. All right, so I think we'll call it for today's jam. We're really at the sweet spot of 2 hours right now. We opened 3 really solid positions. Hopefully Andy crushes it as well. We got a lot of really great community engagement here. I don't know, any of the panelists, do you guys know if we can export this chat so that we can look at it after the fact? For all of these positions, we're gonna do a write-up in the Meteora community on Twitter. And so if you didn't get a chance to really engage during the session today, please take some time over the next few days and just do your best to look at what we've done and the positions we've taken. And even if you're not an experienced trader, take some time and think about why our ideas are good or why they're bad or how you'd have improved them. And then just take some time and engage in the chat there. And that's going to be the best way that you can earn an allocation for this jam. Does anybody else have anything they want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, tell Ishak, I don't have your wallet yet. Could you please make a post in the Q&A section with your wallet address, so that we can collect it?
Yeah, Yusuf, for people who engage after the fact, what's the best way for them to get in contact with one of the instructors so that they can get a distribution for earnestness?
Okay, so for Twitter, I think the best way is simply to DM any of the moderators on Twitter, right? So that we know exactly who has DM'd us, and we can actually see that they engaged with the positions that we've made. I think that's the best way to identify the ones that have that deserve a reward.
And I know there's a lot of people out there who are wanting to get an allocation. That's totally normal and totally okay. My best advice for you is to take genuine interest in DLMing. Use this as an educational space where you actually get rewarded for thinking critically and trying to improve your skills. So there's a lot of times when people will try and farm this kind of engagement, and we're going to be honest about that. And if it seems like you're farming, unfortunately, you'll probably get excluded. But if you're actively in there talking and engaging, that's how you're going to earn an allocation.
Excuse me, hello?
What?
Yeah, what's up, Ishak?
Yeah, like you said, I should drop my wallet address or something.
Yeah, in the Q&A section, so that I can, or you can also do it in
Okay.
the. Yeah, it would be better if you did it in the Q&A section.
Okay, thank you.
For the instructors, do y'all know if there's a way that I can export the chat from this?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can save it. Just hit the ellipsis in the chat window and do save chat.
Save chat. Will that save if I go to everyone, save everyone's chat?
Nice one.
Got it. Awesome. Well, without further ado, we're going to wrap up the jam for today. Awesome work, everyone. Thank you, everyone who came up as a panelist.
Sorry, I couldn't find that Q&A section from my this thing here.
It's okay. We got you in chat, Isha. I'll make sure that it gets over to Yusuf.
All right.
You want the jam song?
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up with the jam song. Take it over, Heavy.
All right, hell yeah, dude. We got a jam song that I wrote. I hope you guys enjoy this. Thanks for coming, man. Share all this on X and join us in Discord. So here we go. We're gonna rock.
Yeah, make sure to interact. We'll be posting threads for all of these positions on our Meteora LP Army community. So make sure to join the discussion and share whatever you want to share with us.
Yeah, and then we will DM the ones that we find are productive and good for our different positions that we've made. We'll DM them manually on Twitter. I think that's a good way of doing it.
All right, let's rock.
See you guys.
I don't
Um,
think you shared your
hold on
sound.
a second. Let me try this again. Just a second. Hold on. Share with audio. Share sound. Rock on. How's that?
Awesome.
Sound the alarm, it is time again for the LP jam to begin. With force, the army is here. March on all sides and have no fear. The keys die, they bring with them their strat to bring alive the LP chat. Min coins are the goal of the day. The gems will show us the way. Till Valhalla we jam in the pool. Winning is our only rule. LP army pick up the fights to bring on into Meteora's light. Give the man with the beard your ear. The strats we use you will hear. The TA is what he will show. So we watch the profits grow. And the legend gives us coin to use. LP army together we can't lose. Using the curve and bid ask. Soul for all, this is the task. Min coins are the goal of the day. The gems will show us the way. Till Valhalla we jam in the pool. Winning is our only rule. LP army pick up the fight to bring all into Meteora's light. We all can hear Valhalla calling, or is that the sound of the token falling? No matter we have the fees, we sail high on the liquidity seas. Come now, soldiers, toast with us. The pool to pick we shall discuss. We revel in the fees we earn as we watch the ruts burn. Look with us the lines on the chart. Now we know just where to start. LP army will jam together. With the legends we live forever. Min coins are the goal of the day. The gems will show us the way. Till Valhalla we jam in the pool. Winning is our only rule. LP army pick up the fight to bring on into Meteora's light.
Hell yeah, guys.
Awesome, guys. Have a good one.
Great session.
See ya.
See you guys.